Litsa is with us now for the press review. She's starting with some pretty shocking news, in fact, aren't you, Litsa, from Ukraine, this is.
That's right, Stuart. Well, the war in Ukraine continues, and Radio Free Europe here has an article about some starving Ukrainian soldiers there. The headline here reads, Ukrainian Army's new manpower struggle. So these images were shared online by relatives of this soldier who have complained and said that there are poor supplies, a lack of adequate nutrition, and bad leadership coming from the Ukrainian army. And speaking about Ukraine, I also want to show you this article that caught my attention here from the Kyiv Post. It talks about a Russian recruitment process in a Russian university. There was a video chat and they were trying to convince Russian students to join the army as drone operators when the call was hacked by a Ukrainian soldier who said, God forbid you end up here, I will have to kill you. Everyone who signs this contract, Stuart. What a warning.
Yes, indeed. Let's go to the US now. American papers, of course, continue to cover the White House press dinner. What are new angles have come out in it, though, Elisa?
Yeah, well, after the shooting, US President Donald Trump gave an interview to CBS News. There's a format there called 60 Minutes. And the Hollywood Reporter here says that the interview had been heavily edited. And this comes a year after Trump sued CBS over the same format with Kamala Harris. And he accused the network of deceptive editing to influence the election. So the Hollywood Reporter writes, it seems Trump is okay with his interview getting edited, just not anyone else's. And the Wall Street Journal also reports that Trump is not very happy with comedian Jimmy Kimmel here. He wants him to be fired after Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about his wife. Kimmel said, Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. And it's bad taste indeed, but it came a couple of days before the shooting. Donald Trump still wants him fired, and Melania is also mad. She tweeted, Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country.
Let's come back to France now, because staying with the subject of the media, though, French lawmakers have agreed on publishing a report here on public broadcasting neutrality and also on funding.
Yeah, it's called the Alloncle report, and it has been created by this guy here, a far-right deputy called Charles Alloncle. And Le Monde reports that after months of heated debates and hearings involving public media representatives, lawmakers and oversight bodies, the publication of the report has finally been approved, and there was a narrow majority, 12 in favor and 10 against. And the topic, the neutrality of public media and their funding, is very controversial in France, with left-wing saying that it's an attack on public media. And it actually directly concerns us here at France 24, because one of the recommendations proposes a merger with France Info. Le Monde says that, however, many compromises had to be made before the publication date was set for next week. And let's take a look at some reactions. So left-wing paper L'Humanité calls the publication scandalous, and it says that it had been adopted by a narrow margin, in particular because it recommends not only mergers between different media, but also the closure of some public channels. And right-wing paper Le Figaro describes the vote as very close, but welcomes the report. And it says that it's an escape from censorship coming from the left.
Interesting to see where that one goes, of course, in the coming months and years. Now, next, Elisa has found a story. This is about genetically modified babies.
Yeah, it's a fascinating article here by French paper Le Monde, and it talks about the fantasy of an enhanced human without diseases, super performing and super intelligent. And that's actually what some American startup companies are proposing. And they say their aim is to create a genetically modified baby. They believe that genome editing could be one of the most important health technologies of the century. And they say that, quote, correcting the babies and if they have any diseases from such an early stage will be very effective. Le Monde, however, writes that it's a highly contested technique and one that's been largely prohibited across the world, and it also raises fear of the return of a form of eugenics.
And finally, Alyssa's going to end on a lighter note for us. You're going to tell us more about, this is very important, so I can hear it already, Seagull Screeching Championship.
Yeah, there you go, Stuart. That's my new hobby. Let me present it to you. It happened.
Is that you or is that him, Alyssa, making that noise?
I'm still practicing, but it happened over the weekend in Belgium, in the coastal town of De Paan, and more than 70 people participated, coming from across 15 countries. And the aim actually is to be kinder to seagulls, because the organizer says that we are pretty mean to the animals. And if you're wondering, there's no prize, only pride.
Only pride?
Yeah.
Pride?
Pride.
Okay.
He's quite proud, look at him.
I think I've got a bit of an earworm going on here. It's going round and round and round in my head. Alyssa, thank you very much for bringing that to our very important attention happening here in France.